All right, I've rinsed my eyes out, and I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for Game 2. I'm ready. Let's see what happens here. It's RandomBanana versus ImperialGold. So, yeah. In the last game, what we saw was two pretty big armies. The Protoss did have a lot of splash damage, a lot of Colossus, a lot of Immortals, so that is quite a tough army. There were a lot of Marines on the Terran side, and there wasn't really much to deal with the Colossus. However, a lot of the Marines they weren't really shooting and stuff. The siege tanks weren't sieged up, so there was no splash damage for the Terran. And what we saw in the end was a pretty one-sided looking battle. The actual supplies were definitely not that one-sided, although it was a slightly higher tech Protoss army than the Terran army. Still though, with good positioning, there's no doubt that the Terran could have held. But it didn't happen this time. Anyway, it's RandomBanana that comes in and has a look around in his opponent's base. And what he sees is a second barracks being built before command center. A third barracks now comes down as well. I like it. It is double gateway though before Nexus on the other side of the map too, and a forge coming down as well. So maybe we'll see some defensive cannons. So if RandomBanana has come in, seen the second barracks, maybe he smells a rat. He's building pylons here before a Nexus. So I think maybe RandomBanana is onto this. It's still Zealots coming out though, and without charge, Zealots are pretty poor against sort of Marines and stuff. There is the tech lab on this as well. So, one reactor barracks, one tech lab barracks, and this one going to be tech lab as well, which is interesting rather than reactor. So yeah, ImperialGold is going to be in a position to crank out a pretty nasty little army and come across the map and put pressure on early. But if he is going to do that, he needs to leave very, very soon indeed. What you upgrade if you're going to do that, you build Marauders out of these two, you build your Marines out of that one. And upgrade the concussive shell for Marauders. It's a cheap upgrade, it's a very quick upgrade as well. You could start it now and pretty much it'll be done by the time you get across the map. And concussive shell means that Marauder shots slow down enemy units. So against Zealots, without charge, it's absolutely brutal. Because the Zealots will just never get, you can just kite back all day long and the Zealots will never get a shot off. So with that in mind, if ImperialGold was just producing out of these, he could win, but he isn't. So given that he's not attacking, this is a really weird build, because if you're not actually going for an early push, you definitely don't need 4 barracks production. So I'm not really sure. I felt I got a bit excited there in the early stages there, because I thought ImperialGold was just going to go absolutely balls to the wind. Let's crank out Marine Marauder and let's get across the map into our opponent's face nice and early. And it would have worked, although, the double gateway, nice. Had there been defensive cannons or a shield battery, doubly nice. But there were none of those things. Okay, the shield battery's coming down now. There is a third gateway now as well. But those things were not there a while ago. I am pretty sure I saw an Oracle be produced at some point, did I not? Did an Oracle happen and I just completely missed it? One worker killed. Oh, whoa. Not this again. So double Oracle tries to kill a turret and just gets absolutely shut down. Okay, so that is a small win then for ImperialGold. Let's get back to where we were. Yeah, you do have to micro those Oracles a little bit. You can't just leave them to their own devices. Otherwise, if a turret shoots them, they will return fire and they'll focus the turret, because that's how the AI works. It shoots the thing that's shooting it, and that's a bad fight. So you do need to micro those Oracles. If you're going to ignore the turret and just try and get worker damage done, that's fine. With 2 Oracles, they one-shot workers, so you really do have to right-click, and ideally right-click, pull, right-click, pull, right-click, pull. But don't overthink it. You've just got to make sure they're not shooting the turret. If you do that, you're still going to lose the oracles, but you'll have done 6 or 7, maybe 8 workers damage before the oracles go down. The better move still is just to fly away from the turrets, keep the oracles alive, use them to snipe units here and there, kill a marine, kill a couple, with 2 oracles, kill a handful of marines, kill some workers on the edge here out of the range of the turret, kill the workers that come to try and build things, drop the time bombs, drop the revolutions, that type of stuff. But keep those oracles alive is probably the better call. Yeah, observer at home, and I wish it wasn't. Scan goes down over here, check in for stuff. But there is no stuff there. I would really like to see ImperialGold move up into this position and just load everything into medevacs, drop it here, siege up. Look at the Sim City here. If there's siege tanks in the back here and a bunch of marines, the Protoss just can't get in. Again, the siege tank's not sieged up, and again the units just running about, not actually shooting. What is going on with Terrans just with the move in their units and not shooting? It's terrifying. Anyway, the Protoss does clean that up pretty handily. Let's just look at the supply difference here. The Protoss actually has the slightly smaller army, so it's this move just into like splash damage that I don't quite understand. You weren't in a terrible position, and all you had to do was like slap the stim button, and yeah, arguably right click in the Colossus because you want them to die first. Kill those Colossus, kill the splash damage. But yeah, would have much preferred just 2 siege tanks and a handful of marines into medevacs. Siege tanks here, marines here, and what's the Protoss going to do about it? Filter their entire army through a like 1 unit wide gap into 2 siege tanks? Nasty. Just get obliterated. Meanwhile, the rest of the army just runs over here and kills all these workers. Beautiful. Anyway, that would be the neck break move, but it's not what we're going to see. So I don't know. ImperialGold is going to go back to production here, and actually, as it turns out, I've got to go, places to go, people to see. So unless this game is going to end in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to have to come back and cast it all over again later by the looks of things. Not to worry. This is actually a pretty scary Protoss army. How many Templars? What is that, it? Templars? Yeah. That is... honestly, it's more than you need. 4 is typically all you need. You don't really need it, Templars. So, I'd make a couple of Archons there. And, scans going down everywhere. None of them seeing the army. So look, this Protoss army is too scary to fight. You don't have the right composition for it. What you need some stuff coming out of your starport. You need more medevacs. You need Vikings. Vikings deal with Colossus. That is the hard counter. This time the siege tanks are sieged up. The ramp is wide open, which is a little unfortunate, but yeah. The siege tanks are doing some work at the back, but it's not enough. There are simply too many immortals, and the Protoss does manage to storm up. And to be fair, this time in that battle, the Protoss just had a much bigger army after the previous Terran losses. So, I'm really hoping we see a Terran kind of win against the Protoss just to prove that it can be done, but it hasn't been this time. GG.